Okay, can you hear me? Is it good volume? Are you getting audio on that?
What does the oven get set up?
380.
380? That's the first thing you want to tell people. Is to
Okay.
set their oven.
Yeah, audio's very good.
Okay, go back to
All right,
pre-show.
convection bake.
Can hear you. Hello everybody. Spanish lasagna, easy dish, fun dish. We will walk through a few things. The first thing is the cocktail. So when we do the cocktail, and Mateo will present to us, you can start preheating your oven to 380, let's say. That would be good, convection bake. And also, if you're using, if you're cooking your lasagna, you're supposed to use it pre-cooked. Put on your water to get your water hot. Forgot to do that, so I'm going to get that going right now. And follow us on Facebook so that you can ask questions. Love to see pictures of what you guys are doing, so post those pictures. And let's go to Mateo.
Hi everyone, it's Mateo from Kansas City. I'm here to show you guys how to make a margarita. Very, very simple drink, and I'm actually going to do a little twist on it. I'm going to end up adding some smoked chili bitters. I really like these ones, and they'll add a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a smoky kind of flavor to it that I really enjoy. So our ingredients today are a tequila. You can use either a Blanco or a Reposado tequila. Then you have your Cointreau, or you can use any other orange liqueur such as Triple Sec or Grand Marnier, but I prefer Cointreau. I already mentioned the bitters, these are totally optional. And then you can also use, it's actually very important that you use lime juice. Those should be your main ingredients. There's some people who like to have it a little bit sweeter, and you can add a little bit of agave nectar, maybe some simple syrup, but I personally don't do that. So what I'm gonna do also is have to work around not having my normal tools. My measuring glass has been packed because I'm moving to a different apartment here in Kansas City. So I'm going to be using this one. This quarter cup is actually, I ended up looking it up, quarter cup is 2 ounces. So if you fill this, that's 2 ounces, half of that, 1 ounce. So we'll do that. Quick maths. All right, so I've already started by getting my glass in the freezer. I've had the glass I want to use in there for a while. So I'm sure after I grab the glass, my dog's gonna want some ice. Anyway, I'll get back on track. So to start off, you're gonna wanna fill your shaker with ice and then start adding your ingredients to it. Okay, fine. Okay, Darren. Here you go, buddy. All right, so you add 2 ounces of your tequila, which is actually a quarter cup, like so. Again, I don't have my measuring glass. This may be a little bit awkward, but we're gonna do our best here. So 2 ounces of that. I'm gonna add, it should be 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, which should be a little bit less than half of this container. And let's not forget, when we are cutting this lime here, let's remember before we press it to make a little wheel, basically cut our garnish that we're gonna use for our drink at the beginning, so because after we press it, it's a lot harder to get that garnish. Wonderful, so we're gonna go ahead and set that one aside. Let's press the first lime and see how much we get. We're gonna need both halves. Just not quite enough from that one. So we're gonna set that aside. Grab the next one. That's about right. It's a little less than half in there, a little less than half full. So I would say it's about 3/4 of an ounce. These little lime wedges are done. Then go ahead and add 1 ounce of your orange liqueur, or I use, again, Cointreau. I like this one a lot. Just fill that up about halfway. Normally I'm a lot more exact, but again, I'm without my tools, or I'm too lazy to go digging and try and find them in the boxes that have been packed. And finally, for a little twist, I'm gonna go ahead and add, say 6 or 7 dashes of this smoked chili bitters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So we've filled our shaker with ice. We have all our ingredients. We're gonna go ahead and give it a shake. All right, go ahead and break the seal. Nice thing about these metal ones, they get really cold, but the problem is they're a little harder to take apart. All right, let's get our frozen glass. The dog is back wanting more ice. We're gonna put a fresh ball of ice in our glass. Be right back. Come on. There it is. All right. Put that in beforehand, just because I've tried dropping it in there and every single time it splashes and makes a mess. So, put that one there. Go ahead and double strain to get rid of any ice chips, any extra ice chips into our glass here. Ooh, filled up pretty nicely. I'll have a little bit left over for a refill later. And then what we'll do is take that you're making a lime wheel, and you'll cut here and you'll stick it in there. It's too full, so. All right. I'll put your lime wheel there. I don't like salt. Some people would add salt to the rim. If you like to do that at the beginning. Try to do it afterwards, it's kind of difficult, if not impossible. All right, so cheers everybody, and I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode of Dinner in 1 Hour. Happy Father's Day all. Oh, also Barrett says hi. Say hi, Barrett.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're back. Father's Day, happy Father's Day to you fathers out there. This is my Father's Day present from Betty and the children. The chiffon shirt that Betty embroidered with this, and my favorite cooking tools in the back. Okay, I have the water on over here. With the water, since I'm using a lasagna that needs to be cooked, I'm going to make sure to salt it. I want that pasta to be flavorful, okay? And the lasagna is going to absorb the water as it cooks. Full disclosure, I'm doing cooking lasagna as opposed to pre-cooked, which is not what I typically do. Typically, I just find something like this from HEB, a pre-cooked product, which makes it very, very easy. However, this time, I was in Central Market looking for some cheese that I really wanted to buy, and I found some lasagna from Italy. So this is a fresh egg-based. So the other one is not egg-based. This is an egg-based lasagna, which is if you're making homemade lasagna, you make egg-based. And I'm going to give it a shot. It's very quick cooking time, like any fresh pasta. It's just 2 minutes. And we'll see how it goes. I was very impressed at Central Market in the selection. Lots of good stuff there if you go in the pasta section. Not just the lasagna, but also some really good linguine, spaghettoni, pappardelle, from an area called Gragnano, which is known as the city of pasta in Italy. So I encourage you to check that out. Have the water on that I salted. I'm going to put the lid on it. I'm going to wait for that to cook. The next thing that I need to get ready is the bechamel sauce. Bechamel, in Italian we say besciamella because we don't have the good French pronunciation. It's one of the mother sauces for the French. I'm going to make my bechamel transitional. And what I mean by that is it will have some of the elements that a white sauce in France would have, French bechamel, because I like some of the flavors. The Italians wouldn't do this, but what we will do is we will steep in the whole milk an onion, some bay leaf, and a clove or two. And that adds a lot of really nice flavor to our bechamel. So let's grab an onion. Or I may have one that it's already open in the refrigerator. Let me check real quick. You have an onion that it's half? Yeah. I do. Look at that. Okay. Anna, which counter do you want me on? All right, I'll go here. Here's my onion. Very simple. This one already clean both ends and use that half. Now I'm on the second half. I peel off the top layer, right, the skin, and I'm left with this. The next step is I'm just going to quarter it, and a quarter of the onion is fine. It's enough to flavor the quart of milk. So. And I think we're going to do the rest of the work on the cooktop side. I don't know why, but I did. Very good point. All right, so you should be over here. You should be able to see this. I have no idea what size this is. Do you guys know what size this is?
Small.
It's small. It's a small pot. Here's my whole milk.
If you look on the bottom, you should tell you it didn't say.
And you want to get that going because we will need it as soon as we have the base of our roux ready, okay? So here we go.
Dad, how much milk did you put in there?
One quart.
1 quart. 4 cups.
Is this visible on my onion?
Your onion is visible.
Okay, so bay leaf, dry bay leaf. If you have fresh, use fresh. A clove. I use the clove to pin the bay leaf. There it goes. Okay. So if you like the taste of the clove, you can put one more. I'm good with one, but you can put more if that's a flavor that you enjoy. This whole goes into the milk. Okay? And now we're going to put the milk over here in the back, so we don't need to touch it. It's just going to sit there on medium heat, and we're going to start letting it warm up. Okay? While that is happening, let's get the base of our bechamel ready. Okay, so the base of the bechamel is like any roux. It is your white flour and your butter. The easiest way, if you don't want to remember fancy things, is equal parts butter and flour. I think I put in my recipe 4 tablespoons of butter and a 1/4 cup of flour. I may do a little more. I may do 6 tablespoons of butter And then I'll start with 1/3 of a cup of the flour and see what that looks like, and if I like it, move on from there. So I'm gonna go with 6 tablespoons of butter and 1/3 of a cup of flour. First thing, the butter goes in, and we'll let the butter melt, okay? So here's my butter. Butter. And I say butter. And here are my knives. How convenient. It says right on there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't even have to wait or do anything. I'm just gonna cut it right there. All right, so we don't want to burn the butter. We don't want, what we want to do is melt it. If you were doing a true bechamel like the French, you probably would use the clarified butter, because this butter still has a lot of water in it, but I don't mind it. I think it works just fine. Now I have a few tools you can choose from. That one was going too fast. I just turned it down. I heard it. You can have the mini whisk, right? That works very well. Oh, oops, sorry. If you have a whisk shaped like this, it's also pretty helpful. The problem with your average whisk is that you will not get on the edges of your pot, and you will get burned either roux or burned milk. So this works, not ideal. This one is awesome for reaching in the corners because you have that edge. This is my preferred. Or a small whisk works also, okay? So our milk is still warming up. Our butter is on medium low because remember, I don't want to burn the butter in any way. It's almost melted. Still got a little bit in there. I'm not a purist, so I'm ready to throw some flour in there, okay? As I've told you, I'm going to start with 1/3 of a cup. And then I'll see what that looks like. So, we're making a white sauce. We're not going to make this a deep roux. We're going to keep it light. However, what we for sure will do is cook it. If you don't cook it long enough, all you will get, it's a real floury taste out of this. If you cook it long enough to where it's still a white sauce, but it's cooked, it's unbelievable. There will be a really nutty smell coming out of this flour, and you'll be able to smell it. So you'll know that you have cooked this roux long enough. Once the smell, the nutty smell starts coming out of it, okay? So my butter was kind of watery. I'm going to cook it a little longer. If it doesn't dry out, I may add another tablespoon of flour. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit just to be sure, because this is my big flame, which is not where I want to be. I'd rather be there, but I don't have enough room. Oh, let me see, I can try it. This is going a little too fast for me, okay? So I want to slow it down, so I'm going to go on top here. My milk is warming up and it's getting flavored. This consistency is actually pretty good. We may give this a shot. I'd rather have too much base for my roux than not enough, because if I have too much base for my roux, I'm going to turn down the boiling water. If I have too much base for my roux, for what I have warmed up here, I can always add some more milk, okay? But if I don't have enough base for my roux, I'm just not going to make enough bechamel, or it's going to be too liquid. And an Italian bechamel, it's a little more, it's a little thicker consistency than French white sauce bechamel. Now, you can, if you are on top of this, you can see the water is evaporating, the butter, and you can see the nutty smell starts to come out of it, but it still has not changed color. It's still butter and flour, okay? I'm going to add just a little bit of flour, just a little more. It's not going to cook as long, which is not ideal, but it'll be okay. Nobody's grading us. And the lasagna is going to be awesome. That was about half a tablespoon, okay? You really want to move it and reach in the corners so you don't burn anything. My milk is getting there. I'm going to turn this way down because my milk is not warm yet. And I don't want to go too far with this, okay? So I'm going to turn the base down, turn up the heat on the milk. When we're ready, depending how picky you are, you can strain out the milk. I'm just going to pick out the clove and the bay leaf and the onion. And if there's a little bit of clove left in there, it won't hurt anything. Okay, so this is down, way down, so it's not browning, it's not burning, but it is smelling really good. It's really ready. I'm going to start putting some of that milk, and I'm not going to take out the onion and the bay leaf yet because I still want to get some of that flavor in there. So, here we go. We're going to add a little bit at a time. We're going to add a little bit and whisk it. Okay? It's going to really solidify. It's important to keep on whisking it because the goal is to have a very smooth sauce. And challenging. What's the English word for grooms? Lumps. Okay, so you don't want any lumps in there, right? You really want to stir it vigorously. So let's go. We're ready. I'm going to put 2 now. Increase the dose. And then make sure that I incorporate that completely with no lumps. I don't know if you have a good shot. I hope you can see what's happening in here. But it's a smooth sauce, right? I'm incorporating all of it. And I'm reaching in the corners. I'm going to put the heat back up to medium-low. And I'm going to keep on adding a little bit at a time. 1, 2. Until I can get it nice and smooth. And more liquid. Okay? Before I add any more, I want to make sure that I get all of the, I forgot the name for them already, the lumps out of there. Otherwise, they're hard to find. If you have a big pot and there are a few lumps in there, you'll never find them. If you go a little bit at a time, as we're doing here, you're going to be sure to get all the lumps out. You can see this is coming out very smooth right now, okay? Let's keep on going with our milk. I'm going to turn the milk. I'm going to turn the milk off because I can see that the bottom is starting to stick to that pot. So I turn the milk off, but it's hot enough to keep on going in our process here. All right, I'm going to step up the heat a little bit on my bechamel because I want it to cook. More milk than we need, which means, remember how in the beginning I told you about how much base to make sure you make enough of the base for the roux. I think I'm a little light in the base, so I may not end up using all the milk, but that's okay. Just keep on building it to the consistency you want, okay? Just keep on adding your milk and bringing up the heat on it to cook. So I'm going to go 1 more tablespoon because I'm getting pretty, I'm going to go to 2. I think I can I think I can have two in there and still have a very good bechamel. Our water is boiling. If you guys have multiple hands on deck and you want somebody to start pre-cooking the lasagna, you're more than welcome to get ahead of me. So I'm not going to add any more milk until I get this to a very soft boil, because that will give me a good indication of the thickness of the sauce. And I'm going to grab some wine. Salute. Okay. Make sure you get to all the corners. I want you to see this, okay? When I take this spoon, it's fully coated in the back. You see that? See that consistency? That's a good bechamel. So I may have been a little heavy on the milk, and I think I probably put more than a quart in that pot. When we made the crema pasticcera, the custard, remember that? That trick for making the custard without having to stir the whole time in the little volcanoes? That's to avoid this, having to sit on top of the pot and doing this. But it's worth it. We're going to make a beautiful bechamel and we're going to be proud of it. So the bechamel will need a little bit of salt, not too much. I'm ready to put some in there right now. I'm just going to go with a pinch for now. Maybe two pinches of salt, all right? It's starting to boil a little faster than I want to, so I'm going to medium low. And then I'm going to make a call whether it's the right consistency or if we're going to use more of that milk. And my call is that I'm loving this bechamel, but I know when it's going to cool down, it's going to become a lot thicker. So I'm going to go one last ladle, and then the rest of the milk is just going to sit there, okay? One last ladle. Okay, a little and a half, I lied. I'm going to get that up to a boil. After it gets up to a boil, cook it for about another minute. And then we're ready to turn the heat off and to add the rest of our seasoning to the bechamel, which will be fresh nutmeg and some white ground white pepper, okay? So you can see the consistency is a little thinner than before. So I'm going to make sure that I bring it up to a boil to fully cook it. All right, I will not use the spoon again, I promise. It's good. It's very, very good. All right, come on, come back up to a boil. I think it's there. I think it's there, so we're going to turn it off, okay? Microplaner, if you have it, and fresh nutmeg, okay? Let me grab my microplaner real quick. Oh, no. Anna says you guys need to know what a microplaner is, but I know you guys are pros, so you know what that is. Okay. Nutmeg, as much as you like. Confession, I hated nutmeg until I found that in some dishes I love nutmeg. So I'm actually going to put probably a little more than you guys would, but it's up to you. You can see what I did in there, okay? Black pepper again, or white pepper, I'm sorry. It's really according to taste. I thought I had it out. Thought I had the white pepper out. Somebody must have put it back away for me. Betty, do you remember putting the white pepper away? And I pulled it out and probably hid it somewhere where we cannot find it.
What does it look like?
Just like a regular. I thought I had it all right here. Whoa, crazy. Think on okay. I have no idea what the quantity is. It's to taste. Whatever to taste means. Let's put some in there. Let's get this thing whisked up and well combined. So I have the nutmeg, the salt. I have the stove off. I'm going to turn the water back up for the lasagna. So we have salt, nutmeg, white pepper ground, and that was a very fine grind. And now we're going to test it. I'm going to add a little more, one more pinch of salt, and a little more nutmeg. I like the pepper. I think the pepper was good. Okay? Our bechamel is ready. We're going to need it over there when we assemble the pasta. So the next thing is we're going to work on the filling. The filling is the spinach. So the spinach, the easy way is you just take the spinach, the ricotta, you put it in a nice blender, food processor, and you make your filling, right? So you can do that, and that works fine. If you want that extra kick in flavor, you saute the spinach. And that's what we're going to do, okay? So we're going to saute the spinach because we do want to get that extra flavor in our lasagna. You guys already know, guys and girls, guys and gals, everybody, what I like to do. I like to flavor the olive oil, or what I am sauteing, with garlic. And garlic and spinach are a very good marriage. I've never heard of garlic and spinach ever getting divorced. So we're going to turn this on medium. We're going to add our olive oil. This is the Sicilian olive oil that I've told you before that you can find, I think, at Randall's and H-E-B, and it's pretty good. Really recommend it. And we talked at length about the date in which the oils were picked. So this one says that the is the 2019-2020 vintage, which means that are the olives that were picked in 2019 November, which is what we want. Okay. I probably went a little heavy on the olive oil, but that's okay. The lasagna is definitely not a light dish. I'm going to crush my garlic. You can get fancy, you can do it with a knife. You can just hit it a couple of times, drop your knife and put it in there. Alright. 2. I'm going to go with 3. This, again, 100% to taste. We're just breaking the skin so that the oil can get in there and start poaching that garlic. That will take a second. I'm going to start on medium heat because my olive oil was cold. As soon as the oil starts getting warm and I can hear the garlic complaining, I'm going to turn the heat down. Because again, we're poaching the garlic in a sense. We're not burning it. Oh, I got a call. Who is that? I don't know. They're gone. Okay. While that gets going, I will start on my lasagna. I'm going to turn the heat back up. This water is boiling. So what we're going to do is drop in there a couple of sheets of the fresh lasagna at a time. Cook them for a couple of minutes. We're not going to crowd them because then we're just going to cool them off with cold water and dry them out, right? So let's see. I hope this lasagna doesn't betray me. There's one. And there's his brother, too. Couple of minutes. Should we be precise? All right, we'll do 2 minutes. We'll believe what the label says. We'll see if the label. So I can hear my garlic. It's making noise. We need to check it. So I know the oil is getting warm enough. I can see the little bubbles forming. I'm going to turn it to medium low. I don't want to burn that garlic, right? I'm going to use fresh garlic in this case. I've done it with frozen garlic. I mean fresh spinach. I've done it with frozen spinach. It works just as well. We're going for freshness. We're doing the fresh pasta. We're doing the fresh spinach. Okay. So I have 2 sheets at a time. I'm going to do for my pasta because I have time anyway. I have to saute the spinach. Okay. It's starting to smell good in here.
If you use frozen, they just squeeze the water out.
That's a good point. Betty's telling to remind you, if you do use frozen, it does have more water in it. So if you're going to saute it, you gotta either boil that water out or you have to find out a way to get rid of some of that excess water. So I know that this is ready once the garlic gets a little softer, right? I'm going to flip it and get to the other side. Make sure that the little boy right there is getting soft and he's getting a little more blonde. So I'm going to put him on the side. And I probably will need something to transfer the pasta to the sink. Okay. I'm happy with what I'm smelling here, so I'm going to go ahead and take this garlic out. I'm going to get this back level. I'm going to get out my fresh spinach. I'm going to turn down the heat to low, just to start it off, okay? This is nice spinach, Betty. This is really fresh.
Good.
So, wilting it basically means steaming it in a way. Okay, so we want to get it in there. We turn the heat down and we want to cover it. My pasta has been gone for at least 2 minutes. I want to see how this pasta works out, or if we need to switch back to the original plan. I don't know, it looks good. It's holding together, it's not breaking up.
Did you take the garlic out?
I did take the garlic out. You didn't see me. You can smell it. So, first 2 sheets of this beautiful pasta. Oh, it smells like fresh pasta. And I'm going to go put them over here in their cold water. The cold water is to stop the cooking. We're going to go with the next 2. I'm going to go 3. I think I have enough room. I have enough boiling water in there to do 3.
How many sheets do you need for lasagna?
A bunch. I think I'm going to need, let me see. I think I'm going to have 8 layers. I'm going to need at least 8.
8
Yeah.
layers?
Oh yeah. This is about the pasta. Again, this is about the pasta. You think that the lasagna is about the filling? This is just like any Italian pasta. You know, the pasta it's not just a method of picking up the sauce. The pasta is part of what you love and enjoy in what eating, whether it's spaghetti or tagliatelle, fettuccine, strozzapietri, or whatever it is. I don't care. Pasta alla chitarra. You really want to have that pasta be part of the overall plate, not just a way of picking up a bunch of sauce. Okay. So these guys over here, they wilted for a little bit, are going up to medium, and I'm going to check them out. If there's not enough steam in there, if they're not wilting, I will add water, but there should be enough coming out, just out of the spinach. Looks like they're a little bit dried out, so I will add two things. I will add a little bit of salt for seasoning, a little bit of pepper, and I'm going to add a little bit of water. Is everybody cooking along or just watching? Look at this, they're putting there something that is not spinach as a bonus. Oh, this is, so, again, we're going to do fresh. We're not going to overcook the spinach, right? So I'm going to turn the heat back down to medium-low because this spinach is almost just about wilted. And I do not want to overcook it. I want it to really have a fresh taste in our pasta and just work with the pasta. So you guys are not keeping time for me, but I'm guessing that we're close to 2 minutes to these last 3 sheets of pasta. So I'm going to pull them out. There's one guy. He did get a little broken up. There's 2. Oh, he's fighting me. And there's 3. Yeah? Under the cold water. I like the spinach the way it is. I'm not going to overcook it. I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to move on to my last sheet from this box and move on to this one. So I think we're done. How many sheets have we done, Anna? 2, 5. This will be 8. Let's see if 8 is enough. I think 8 is going to be light. But my pasta, the container that I'm making the lasagna is not very deep. So that may be the correct call, okay? So this is off, your milk is off, so you're not burning it. Your bechamel is cooling down. We're down to cooking the pasta and the getting the ricotta cheese ready to be mixed with the spinach, since our spinach is ready, okay? So to do that, Anna, we're going to move to the other side. But I do need somebody to help me out with the timing on the pasta. I think this has been about 30 seconds, another minute and a half. Somebody needs to help me out remember it because I'm going to get about a minute and a half to for that pasta.
I got it.
Yep. Anna, can you move to the sink so we'll show how the ricotta is done?
Can.
All right, so what we're doing, ricotta comes in 1 pound containers. you're probably not gonna put the full 2 pounds in there, but you're definitely gonna put 1.5 pounds, okay? So we're gonna go with 1.5 pounds. Oh, my noodles look awesome. I'm gonna move this noodles to a drying rack in the meantime, okay? Oh, beautiful noodles. Look at them. Mmm. Okay, so here my noodles drying out. Let me know when I'm closing on the other set of noodles, Bella, okay?
You have 2 seconds left.
2 seconds, ooh! Crazy. Alright, we're gonna pull this set of noodles out. And they will go in the column. So you guys are waiting for me to get started on the ricotta filling, and we will do it right now, okay? I'm gonna stop the cooking of this, guys. We're gonna start with 1.5 pounds of the ricotta. If you don't like ricotta cheese and you want less ricotta flavor, still try to experiment. You can go to cottage cheese, or yeah, you can use less ricotta. So the great thing about ricotta is that you can make really good dessert with it too. That's what I do with my leftover ricotta. I make a dessert with it by just whipping it, adding sugar, cocoa powder, and a little bit of shaved baker's chocolate. Okay, so that's enough to whip that ricotta into really awesome and probably healthier dessert than a traditional chocolate mousse. Okay, so I put 1 pound in there. As I've told you, I'm going to start with 1.5 pounds and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's 1.5 pounds right there, and whatever is left over, maybe my dessert tonight. So we got the ricotta in there. We're going to put the eggs in there. And here are our 3 eggs in there. Okay? So we got 3 eggs, the ricotta. What else do we want to put in there? So that I don't forget. Should I go off the top of my head? Or look at the list? I think we're going to put some parmigiano in there. How much parmigiano? Enough. What is that? Half a cup? Okay?
Yes.
And now we have seasoned the spinach, but the ricotta is not, it also needs a little bit of seasoning. Here I'm going to go with black pepper and salt. Okay? So here we're just going to get our black pepper and salt. Do I have pasta cooking still? I have no more pasta cooking.
No, you made 8.
I think we're gonna make 2 more because I think just in case they're here. It's open. Then what? It's just pasta. I think we're gonna find a way to eat it. All right, so here we go. Depending on what kind of cheese you're using, the Parmesan may be already pretty salty, so I'm gonna go real light on the salt. As you know, I like black pepper, so I'm going to give it 2 pinches of black pepper. And then we're just going to whip this together, okay? Two minutes on that pasta, somebody's counting. I know you guys are not letting me down. I did nothing special here. Just combine the two, right? Combine the three. Combine the eggs, the ricotta, and the Parmesan cheese. And that's all it was. Nothing too fancy. Now we're going to take our spinach. And the spinach is going to go in there. Oh, I cooked it long enough. Well, just so that it breaks up once I turn it on. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Really watery, but it looks good. Okay, pasta's coming out. This pasta is going to the dryer. Running out of room. Alright, let me get the last piece of pasta out and then we're ready to start putting the lasagna together. Okay. My burners are off. I'm back over here to cool down this pasta. We have our spinach. And ricotta mixed together. We get the last little bit of spinach in there. That's what I meant by, did I cook it long enough or is it sticking on there? Stuck a little bit. It looks good. Okay. Alright, Anna, you know what you can do?
What can I do, Dad?
The camcorder has a zoom on it.
Would you like me to do one?
Here, where we're going to assemble the lasagna.
At the table, you mean?
Yeah, we're going to assemble it at the table. So everybody knows what they like. They like mozzarella, they like parmigiano, they like other cheeses. I'm using parmigiano and mozzarella.
Rufalo's too wet.
What is it, Bella?
Rufalo mozzarella is too wet.
Boy, that would be nice. I didn't think about that. That's a great idea. That's a good idea. Okay, so the light coating of our bechamel on the bottom, so that the pasta won't stick. Okay, so it's just a light coating to keep the pasta from sticking. I'm gonna need my spatula. I've been forbidden to call it Big Red, but Big Red made it onto the back of my shirt. You can see it's right there. Or Big Green, I'm sorry, Big Green. Alright, so here we go. Light coating on the bottom. first layer of pasta fits perfectly, almost perfectly. Okay, spinach, ricotta, and eggs. Probably the biggest mistake I ever made when making this dish is going too heavy on the filling between layers. Because this pasta, especially this egg pasta, it's really beautiful. It's really nice. So you can go light on the filling and get more layers. And I think you're going to find that that is a good way to do this. I'm going to switch to this guy. Done. Look at this. This is perfect. Just a little bit of bechamel, and then up to you, whatever you like. For a Parmigiano fan, go with the Parmigiano.
I don't want to
If you like the mozzarella, go with the mozzarella. I go with both because I like both. So we got one layer done. Let's move on. Second layer goes down. A little too big. I'm going to cut that side off. Let me get my little paring knife. This was Matt's idea or thinking, is that if you cook your lasagna, it's so much easier to trim it when you're trying to assemble it. And that seems to be very true. Are you looking forward to this, Betty? You're hungry? We're not there yet. We will be there soon. So I want to hear comments about bechamel. Did you guys follow the bechamel preparation? Are you happy with your bechamel? What happened? Don't be shy. Shows your pictures or just share comments, and Betty and Isabella and Anna Maria are able to follow up and let me know what's going on. A little bit of bechamel sauce, a little more bechamel sauce because it's very tasty. And we'll go with the next layer. Oh, I didn't put any cheese on that layer. This is a cheeseless layer. I'm breaking all the rules. I'm a rule breaker. Here we go. Well, we'll go with extra cheese on this layer, I guess. This would be our makeup layer. So last time we made it, I had leftover filling, and we made some pasta, adding a little more Parmesan cheese to it, and quite a bit of the cooking water from the pasta. That turned out really creamy, and I liked it. Did you like it, Betty? You like all my pasta? You're biased? Family bias? Alright, so this dish is not very deep, so I'm going to start using a little bit more of my sauce. And since we missed the layer of cheese, this cheese layer is going to be a little thicker. I think they have pretty good flavor on both the filling and the bechamel. I wanted to check the filling one last time and I didn't, but I felt like the spinach was good, and I did season the ricotta, so I think it's going to be fine. How many layers are we up to? Everybody counting? Is it a competition how many layers you can get in one little dish like this?
How many do you have?
I'm not sure. I think I'm only on 4 or 5. Not many. This dish is not very deep. We may have extra. We may have extra left over. Alright, so again, we are emphasizing the goodness of the pasta. So we want a good amount of spinach in there, but we don't want the spinach to be the only thing that goes into this dish. Okay, so we do want to cover all corners, but we do want the pasta, the fresh pasta, to stand out. I'm feeling like mozzarella on this layer. Because I think we're only going to get 2 more layers. That's about what the amount of pasta we have there, so this should work out just fine. People are not telling you how the bechamel turned out?
No?
They're being secretive?
They are. You're watching and learning. Yeah, I know that Chef Cat is it, watching and learning. Same thing with his waters. Someone named Candace Sackler.
I am liking this, except that I left my wine over there. I'm being deprived.
Because it's Father's Day, I'll bring it to you.
You do it every day, Betty. Thank you. Double-fisted drinker.
Alright.
You guys know I like Negroni by now, so that's my Negroni.
Miss Waters wants to know where you got the pasta from.
Central Market, and it's fresh. And they have 2 different kinds of fresh, so egg-based lasagna. I didn't buy both, I only bought one. I wanted to buy both, but Betty says that I buy too much food. And so stop. I control myself.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so here we go. We're coming up to our final layer, so I'm gonna put a little more Parmesan cheese, which also means a little bit of saltiness and a little heavier. I forgot the bechamel on the last one. I'm gonna have extra bechamel left over, which is very good because bechamel will keep for 4 or 5 days in the fridge, and you can use it to make a creamy pasta sauce or to make lasagna again. It does not get thrown out. I think I like the amount of bechamel I made actually. I think this is really good. I'm gonna make this my sticky layer, so I'm also gonna put the mozzarella on there because I want it to hold the lasagna together as it melts. And then we'll put a final layer on. This is working out just the way I didn't plan it. But it's working out really well. Okay, here we go. My last layer of pasta. Okay. This is the best layer when you eat it because this layer, I'm not going to put much on it. I'm just going to go with bechamel and the cheese, and it's going to get nice and crunchy. And I really like that. That's something that I really enjoy.
Daddy, your oven's preheating, right?
My oven is preheating. It should have beeped by now. Did it
I'm
beep?
sure it has.
Alright, so this, we're going to put enough bechamel to cover so that we don't burn the pasta or make the pasta into the crunchy nightmare. We want it crunchy but tasty. So we're going to use enough bechamel to cover it. We made just the right amount of bechamel. Look at that. There's just a little bit left over, not a ton. And we're going to cover all the corners of the pasta. It may bubble over a little bit when it cooks, but it was definitely worthwhile. If you do have ricotta left over and you have not made a dessert and you're feeling like eating something sweet, whatever little ricotta you have left, start with maybe a tablespoon or 2 of sugar, whip it up in your mixer, taste it. When it starts tasting good, you have 2 choices. You can add another creamy ingredient like a mascarpone, or if it's too solid, you can add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Keep on going with your whisk inside of your mixer, and then if you have good powdered cocoa, add the powdered cocoa in there, cocoa powder, and then the shavings of the baker's chocolate. You won't regret it. So I'm on top. So on top, I want to make sure that I add some cheese. That's what gives it that beautiful color when it starts cooking and you see that bubbling on top. That's going to be my Parmesan cheese. Okay, so I want to be somewhat generous. It looks awesome and it tastes really good, that Parmesan cheese as it cooks on top. By now, you've been with me a few times to know that when I'm writing things down about what ingredients you need, it's because I've been forced to. Typically I have ingredients laying around and I feel my way through it. But this has been good for me also because it makes me think about if I want to pass on this recipe and traditions, I can do that. So we're going to start cooking it in the oven. We're going to start with it covered. When you put your foil on top, make sure that it doesn't sit too close to the cheese, or the cheese will just stick to the foil, and when you lift the foil, you throw away all the cheese. So make a little tent over it and get it going, right? So all the ingredients are there are either cooked or partially cooked. All we're trying to do is bring it to temperature, which is nice and hot lasagna that you want. Finish the cooking of the pasta. At about 30 minutes, check it. If it's starting to get warm enough in the middle, then we're going to take the foil off, and we'll start the browning process. Okay? It may take another 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most. So you should be about 45 minutes, and your lasagna will be ready, and it should be eaten right away. Well, don't burn yourself, but right away. If after you're at 45 and the middle is still not as hot as you want it, and you can check it with a thermometer, you can check it however you want to, but it's browning, just cover it back up and let it finish. Okay? I didn't hear any questions, so.
You have a picture from Matt.
Oh, look at that. The kids are cooking. Awesome. It looks good.
I don't know if people can see.
I'll bring it up to the thing so they
Well,
can
I
see
gotta,
it.
it's zoomed
I
in.
love to see young people cooking.
It's pretty zoomed in.
Uh,
Oh, I miss the kids.
okay. We're done. Before I put it in the oven, I'm gonna get my producer, my social influencers over here to say good evening to you guys. Use Ana Maria. She ran the cameras for me,
And the
helped me
comments.
out. She also was doing comments. Betty, you're gonna join us. Is Isabella out?
I don't know where Isabel is.
Oh,
We're dropping
we had a dropout. I don't know if she's gonna make it through college, but thank you. After 45 minutes, oh, here's Bella. Thank you, Bella. 45 minutes and an hour. When you start eating, I would love to see some of your comments on Facebook. Love to see comments about how your lasagna turned out. Comments about what you would enjoy seeing. Comments about what we're doing that is making difficult for you to follow. And of course, the things that you like too. And
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
happy Father's Day to all of you from the Costantini family.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Amazing.
Looks good, huh?
You gotta do